Part 30. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 292. Chapter 292, The Stingy Mei Shui. So you sold my vegetables separately, and now there isn't enough food, right? Mei Shui said happily. However, Brother Gu, it's not that we don't want to sell you, but as you know, my family only has a small amount of land, and I don't have any land to plant more if I want to. As you know, I still have money and the boss is here. No matter how much land her family farms, Qianziang will not want it. Mei Shui doesn't think Qianziang is stupid. Oh, I know, but I have some difficulties here. I said hello to Boss Jian when I came here, but he asked me to ask you. Guji had no choice. There are some people who he really doesn't dare not to give to. But if it is given, what will his old man eat? They are fine, even if they miss a few bites, it won't make any difference. But no matter how hard it is, it can't be any more, old man. Grandma, he understood, we have agreed on the food at home before. There is nothing we can do about it, but Xiaoxiu has raised some fish. If you are really in trouble, you can catch some fish. Before the Chinese New Year last year, Mei Shui told her grandma that she had thrown some medicine into her fish pond to use it to raise fish. So until this year, no fish has been sold. Mai Xiu was confused when she heard her grandma's words. Grandma, she was about to say that the fish was her experiment, and she didn't know what it tasted like yet. It's okay. Public security Gu is not an outsider. He won't come to the door in person if he doesn't feel embarrassed. Just sell him some. We didn't decide on this fish with Boss Jian at the beginning. Grandma, he has her own plans. It is no longer possible to grow vegetables at home. Every year we hire those people, and the money from selling the vegetables is shared equally with them, so we can earn whatever we earn. She might as well sell fish. She also figured it out. When the time comes, digging a few more soft fish outside the back mountain will be much better than selling vegetables. I don't know where Grandma got her confidence. Anyway, Mei Shui has nothing to say. Because Guji agreed, okay, thank you Grandma and brothers and sisters. As long as it is your family's thing, I can take it out for business. He was really pressed. That's it. It happens that the fish has been raised for several months. If you want it, ask someone to catch it, but it won't be alive if you take it back. Grandma, he made a decision. What else could Mei Shui say? It's okay. Go buy a large piece of oilcloth and spread it in the carriage. Add some fish water and you won't die when you get to Mingcheng. If you have a car, the trip won't cost much. Hours. That's a good feeling. I'll buy it now, brothers and sisters. Grandma, I'm so grateful to you this time. Gu Jijhen didn't know how to express his gratitude. You're welcome. This fish is expensive, Grandma, he said. It's okay, no matter how expensive it is, people can still afford it. Guji really didn't care about the price. Well, if it's fish, I'll give it to you for 5 yuan a pound. If it were anyone else, I'd sell it for 10 yuan. You know, my fish are all raised with herbs. Grandma, he started to blow, and the cow started to fly. Mei Shui walked away. Guji listened seriously and was afraid that he would miss something. Mei Shui saw that they were chatting so enthusiastically, so she hurriedly went to Xiao Yi and asked him to run an errand. Let him go to the town to buy oilcloth and come back. He also asked him to call Heans and ask him to drive back tomorrow morning to catch fish. It is better to earn the shipping fee yourself than to make it cheaper for others. Sister-in-law, I will take care of this matter. Don't worry, I will take care of it for you. And Wei has become more and more sophisticated now. I'm relieved. My sister-in-law will give you a big red envelope after the fish is sold. 5 yuan a pound is almost as much as the price of gold. Haha, thank you, sister-in-law. Go, remember to come back early, Mei Shui ordered. Nu. After saying that, Wei ran out. When Mei Shui came back, the two people were still chatting there. Brother Gu, I asked Xiao Yi to buy tarpaulin for you. When he comes back, just remember to give him the money. You also asked him to call a taxi for you. He and his team will come in tomorrow morning. Hearing that Mei Shui had arranged everything, Gugina was happy. Thank you, sister-in-law, you are so thoughtful. I'm really grateful. It's okay, Mei Shui shook her head. You talk to grandma, I'll go see the children. When Mei Shui found the old man and the others, they were all behind the yard, and Xiaobai was also here. Seeing his master coming, Xiaobai jumped into his arms. Master, these old men are so bad they actually plan to build a bamboo house in our backyard. Xiaobai told his master what he heard. Meixue became happy after hearing this. Thanks for their imagination, I wouldn't have built a brick house like this if it could be built with wood. Compared with brick houses, she prefers wooden buildings, just like the wooden building she lives in now. It's warm in winter and cool in summer. Don't be too comfortable, okay? It's just like a big fool. The one who talks most enthusiastically is old man Shi Master. I find that he is really stupid, Xiaobai complained. Mei Shui smiled. He is not stupid. Among these 5 people, he is the smartest. Don't look at him who is always bullied. Among these old men, he is the leader. She could not get it wrong. Of course Xiaobai knows, I know, he is so wise as to be foolish, the former master said. Haha, who knows, who cares, as long as it doesn't get into my hands. Her temperament has improved a lot, but it doesn't mean that her previous cruelty no longer exists. Xiaoxiu, come here quickly, this old man is planning on the back of your house. Mr. Zhang has been furious for a long time. He has told Mr. Shi many times that there can be no more expansion in the back, no expansion. But he always thinks about this place. It's okay, Grandpa Zhang. If I don't agree, no one will dare to touch you. Mei Shui's words were very domineering. She knew that the old men were all thinking about these lands, but it was a beautiful idea. Even if it needs to be repaired, she will do it. Then she will rent it to them. Isn't it nice to collect the rent? She has read in books that you don't have to be too pretty to be a housewife. Xiaoxiu, don't be so stingy. I only want a little bit, just like old man Mu, just a little bit, Mr. Shi said unwillingly. Mei Shui looked at Uncle Shi with a smile on her face, but it was unclear how sincere the smile was. But everyone can see that he is very murderous. Stop talking, it's a good idea for us to repair on the other side. Mr. Zhao was afraid that old man Shi was seeking death, so he quickly grabbed him. Uncle Shi was very frightened, but there was no expression on his face at all. You stingy man, drink cold water. Mei Shui put away her smiling face. If you want to build a house here, don't even think about it. I have bought all the surrounding mountains. I will build some houses by then. If you want to bring your family to live here, you can follow me, then rent it. Mei Shui knows how to give up when things are good. Hearing that Xiaoxiu planned to repair the house, the old men all laughed. No, the old lady at home is quite old and not in good health, so I feel a little sad that she can't take over. Mr. Wu said with emotion. If it weren't for avoiding Kyoto, how could he leave her alone in Kyoto? Luckily, I can take care of my grandchildren at home, so it's not too boring. After taking the pill last time, my health has improved a lot. Remember to vote. End of this chapter. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 293. Chapter 293, The Village Chief is Gone. Among the talented men, only Mr. Wu and Mr. Hua's wives are still there, while the others have all passed away. Let's wait and see if we can find someone to repair it this year. If we can repair it, we will build 3 houses like the old house here first, Mei Shui said, pointing to the forest on the left side of her backyard. They bought it here. It's not big, but the price is the same as the 3 mountains behind her house. Xiaoxiu, I've decided to stay here. It's quiet inside, So I want this place, Mr. Wu shouted anxiously. No, what will you do if you want us? We don't have a wife, but we still have children, so we won't have to live with them if they come here, Mr. Sun quit. Among the old men, Mr. Hua's son is the only one who is not around. When his grandson grows up, he will be with him. Now, Hua Tongfang is busy and has no time to accompany him, so he followed him. Several old men quarreled again about the house. Mei Shui put Xiaobai on the ground, pulled the two children, and walked towards Mr. Zhang. Old man, while you are still healthy, can you help me repair a few more houses? The old man is very good at his craftsmanship. Mr. Zhang looked at Xiaoxiu and said, you girl have been waiting for me here for a long time, right? No wonder he was the first person to be given the pills. I can't help it. Who asked you to build such a good house? It's so cheap. After saying that, Mei Shui laughed. Yes, the house built by Grandpa Zhang is very nice, Mom. Can we go take a bath? I'll take Xiaobai with me. It's noon, and the two little guys are in good spirits. No, you can soak it again at night. After soaking, go to bed. Can we stay here tonight? Mei Shui said, kissing her two sons. Xiao Peng and Xiao Chen were very happy when they heard this. Okay, I'm going to sleep with my mother tonight. One of them was excited. Okay, let's all sleep with Mom. After Mr. Zhang agreed, Mei Shui began to make plans. Whether she invited people from the village or asked Mr. Zhang to invite people, she would not pay for the meal, only pay wages, and she would figure out the rest by herself. 5 yuan a day is a lot of money. But there is no rush, because Mr. Zhang still has to think carefully about repairing one house until it is fine, but for several buildings in a row, he has to take care of the foundations. Ask someone to lay the foundation first, and then talk about the rest later. If you build a house on the other side of the mountain, you have to build a road. There are a lot of tedious things. Guji took the fish away the next day. Hians didn't come. Maybe the county town was busy. The one who came was one of the 5 people who joined last time. Mixu didn't say much. Seeing that Hians didn't come back, she didn't ask a question. Grandma He was there to watch, and she took her children and Xiaobai to play in the mountains. It's a bit cold after the beginning of spring, but it's still acceptable to go out for a walk. Xiaobai, do you think the fishmen I raised with these medicines won't die after eating them? Those medicine residues were all left over from when she was making pills. It's not the medicinal materials that the old man and the others brought, they were all from space. No, those medicinal dregs have little medicinal power, but for ordinary people, they are a great tonic. Taking them for a long time is good for the body. Xiaobai felt that the master was really good at using waste. Grandma sells fish for 5 yuan a pound, which is really not a loss. Mei Shui was also happy. Of course, master, do you have any misunderstanding about the medicinal materials in the space? Xiaobai rolled his eyes. Xiao Peng and Xiao Cheng saw Xiaobai rolling his eyes and immediately shouted, Mom, look, Xiaobai is rolling his eyes again. Mixu held them both hands, and Xiaobai walked in front. When he turned back just now, he was seen by the two children. Ignore it, it's stupid. Mei Shui opened her eyes and said, nonsense. Master, this is too much. Xiaobai was angry. It's not too much. You are stupid to begin with. Even stupider than Xiaohong. Mei Shui also became happy. Today she specially took the children out to catch some game. Mei Shui felt lonely after not doing anything for a long time. Xiaohong, the master says you are stupid. Xiaobai shouted. Fortunately, its barking is also the sound of a dog barking. Mom, what's Xiaobai's name? Hearing its long cry, Xiaopeng was a little worried. Are you sick? Mom, Xiaobai, do you want to take medicine? I will prescribe medicine. Xiao Cheng said he was positive. Mixu was speechless. Please stop harming Xiaobai. When the time comes, Xiaobai will be killed by you and you won't have anywhere to cry. The two little guys are learning medicine from Mr. Mu. Because Mei Shui said that she doesn't know how to do it, she can't teach him. Of course, even if you want to teach it, it's not now. In Xiaobai's words, that medical book is too precious, many things no longer exist, and it is of no use to learn it. Not everyone has the same space as its owner. On the third day after Guji left, the village chief came. It's not about selling the mountain. Xiaoxiu, I heard that your fish sells for 5 yuan per catty. He couldn't believe it. Meixue glanced at the village chief and realized that someone in the village was jealous again. Yes, my fish are all raised with medicinal materials. 5 yuan a pound is just for the sake of acquaintances. Grandma originally wanted to sell it for 10 yuan. Mei Shui didn't like the village chief very much, but she didn't hate. It is normal to have ideas, but it is abnormal to have no ideas. Can the villagers raise it? If so, the village chief became excited. It's possible, but the cost is a bit high, not to mention the medicinal materials. The mortality rate is also high, as you can see. I don't sell many fish. Sometimes you can't get used to it. Besides, this fish can't be sold for much all year round, and it grows very slowly. She didn't lie. Just because it is too supplemented, the size of the fish will become leaner and leaner. Even though the price is high, it is not a good deal. After hearing this, the village chief also put some thought into it. By the way, Xiaoxiu, the secretary, and I went to the town for a meeting this time. Our Hejia village was praised, but the town wanted us to help the neighboring villages. What do you think? In this matter, he still knows his priorities clearly. The village is what it is now because of this man in front of him. Otherwise, the life in Hejia village can only be considered passable. I am not rich, but I will not die of hunger. Want to grow vegetables? Mei Shui felt that it didn't matter. Anyway, the demand was getting bigger and bigger now. During the Chinese New Year, Qian Xiang said that his restaurant would be expanded again. Besides, Hejiakan's vegetables have long been famous in the town and county, so there is no need to worry about not being able to sell them. Isn't Boss Mi still guarding there? I heard that he opened many stores in various towns. The village chief nodded. Yes, that's what they think. I just want to ask you if I can buy some seeds from your family. Thinking of being complimented by the village chiefs during this meeting, he felt like he was floating. That taste. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 294. Chapter 294, Here Comes the Money. No problem, but it won't be available this year. Ask them if anyone wants rice seeds. My rice seeds are also good. Didn't Qian Xiang ask for rice for a long time? Just let them plant it. Don't sell your own ones, they will be better if you keep them in your space, and they won't go bad. I'll go ask the village chief. Doesn't think much of rice planting. Seeing him like this, Mei Shui didn't say much. After the village chief got the letter here, he ran to the neighboring village. Mei Shui didn't care about these things, and she didn't want to come out if she could. Xiaobai, come back and plant vegetables. There are not enough seeds. As soon as the village chief left, Mei Shui began to abuse Xiaobai. Xiaobai was full of grievances. Master, there is Xiahong's family in the space, why don't you ask them to work? Swanyi Red Snake is such a good labor force. They are not familiar with space. What if they damage my medicinal materials? Mei Shui rolled her eyes. If you look closely, he looks very similar to Xiaobai. Meixue also remembered what the village chief said, but even if they wanted to plant, they would have to wait until next year. If she wants to grow rice, she really needs to thank them. After waiting for another 2 days, Xiaobai screamed in the space every day. Mei Shui had a headache and had no choice but to let it out. Are there enough seeds? Mei Shui asked seriously, holding Xiaobai in her arms. The posture of putting it back into space when it is not enough. That's enough, master, don't shut me in, I'm so lonely. Xiaobai followed suit. Aren't there so many Xiahong's family members staying with you, are you still lonely? Mei Shui didn't believe it. Xiaobai nodded his little head vigorously, lonely, master, those little snakes are not yet enlightened and can't speak. Do you think I am lonely? Mei Shui touched Xiaobai's head and felt a little embarrassed. No, I will release the seeds for you after you get them. Xiaobai didn't want to bother his master on this matter anymore. Master, I want to go find the little master to play. Go, go, they are all in the back mountain. Mei Shui knew that the village chief would come in the next 2 days, so she did not go to the back mountain. In addition, Ma Liming said yesterday that he would come over to share the money with her today, and she was not allowed to wait here. The hotel that Ma Liming took over has been renovated and he is very satisfied with it. Of course, there is another big thing. Ma Mingli plans to come over today to tell Mei Shui. Before the village chief came, Ma Liming came over first. Xiaoxiu is at home. Ma Liming didn't come alone, he also brought Hung Mei with him. Mei Shui opened the door and let the two of them in first. Brother-in-law, Sister Hong, for Aunt Zillian's sake, Mei Shui still called Sister Hong. Hey, Xiaoxiu, would you like to come to my house for lunch today? Hung Mei was a little helpless and obviously embarrassed. Mei Shui shook her head. No, Grandma has to take a break at noon, and I have to take care of the children. Go eat, forget it. The relationship is not that good. Are the piglets you caught a few days ago okay? I heard that you have raised dozens of them this year, Mei Shui asked with some doubts. Hung Mei nodded and said, well, we have to do something at home. We still have 2 children to raise. Although her younger siblings didn't say anything, she was still a little embarrassed. Those words she said before were because Li Shuang had just entered the house and she was quick to talk, so she offended people. Now, she didn't dare. Of course, firstly, she didn't dare, and secondly, she was grateful that her siblings were willing to help her when she was in the most difficult time. She has to remember this. Just like her mother said, she can't imitate her grandma. She can't say much to her elders, but she still sees her mother's suffering. It's okay. Raising pigs is more profitable than other methods, and it doesn't take much effort. Mei Shui has raised pigs twice a day, so she doesn't need to worry about anything else. Hung Mei didn't dare to respond to this, so she could only giggle. Okay, Xiaoxiu, I brought the account book today. Because the pictures you drew satisfied the boss, I earned more this time than last time. After saying that, Ma Liming took out an account book and placed it in front of Mei Shui. Not only a ledger, but also a bag with money in it. Mei Xiu didn't look at the money, but took a look at the account book. Not to mention, those furniture sold really well in the town. After reading it, Mei Shui didn't take the money seriously, and it wasn't much anyway. Brother-in-law, have you ever thought about opening a store in the county? Your craftsmanship is quite good, Mei Shui asked with a sigh. Ma Liming clenched his hands naively. Why haven't I thought about it? But the county town is not as expensive as the town. The cost is too high. I don't have the capital for the time being, so it's better to work as a temporary worker first. He thought, but he didn't have the capital. Mei Shui didn't generously say that she would pay for the cost. She was not a holy mother, so it would be nice to give her an opinion. Then wait a little longer. I think you will have capital next year. If you still have the money, just give me 200. There must be more than 600 yuan in it. She didn't do anything, and she didn't feel comfortable holding some money. Of course, the main reason for her was his attitude. As Grandma said, their family doesn't value money now. What matters is the person's conscience. If you have a conscience, it doesn't matter whether you have money or not. But if you have no conscience, you have to get every cent of it back to her. Just like in Lin back then. Mei Shue's face turned obviously bad when she thought about some things in the past. Seeing her like this, Hong Mei became anxious. She would never dare to offend Xiaoxiu at this time. Li Ming, did you make a mistake in your calculation? Hong Mei pulled her man's sleeve anxiously and asked softly in his ear. Ma Liming shook his head. No, I didn't make a mistake in accounting. He was also a little undecided. How about I take a look again? Just when Ma Liming wanted to get the account book, Mei Shui sighed, you are thinking too much. It's not that the account book is right or wrong, but that you are thinking of Enlin. Hearing her words, Hong Mei and his wife stopped talking. Enlin is now almost someone who doesn't want to be mentioned in the family. That white-eyed wolf, even Uncle Zhengting said he didn't have a son. Okay, Sister Hong, brother-in-law, don't think too much. I'll accept the money, but I'll only take 200. From now on, brother-in-law, you don't have to send money. It's your own ability to sell the furniture. If you have, sometimes I have to think about how to design some furniture. That's right, Mei Shui doesn't plan to help anymore. It's a good start, but if you continue to help, you might as well open a store by yourself. Molly understood clearly. Okay, but I still have to thank Xiaoxiu. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be able to do this business. That's because you have the skill yourself. Just think about it more on weekdays. Mei Shui waved her hand and said with a smile. After seeing these two people off, Mei Shui saw that the sun was high in the sky, but the village chief hadn't arrived yet, so she didn't want to wait any longer. By the way, there will be an update at 2:01 tomorrow afternoon. There are 12,000 updates in total. There will only be one update at 12 o'clock. Let me inform everyone. Check it out. Asking for recommendation votes, monthly votes, rewards, and subscriptions. End of this chapter. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 295. Chapter 295, Misunderstanding. After tidying up at home, she planned to go to the back mountain. Just as she was closing the door, the village chief came. Mei Shui was speechless. Village chief, why are you here at this time? There was no cooking at home. It's okay, I just came back from outside. I'm afraid you'll go into the mountains again, so I'll come here earlier. Meixiu said it politely and disliked him for coming late, but he seemed to take it seriously. Oh, let's sit down and talk first. Mei Shui didn't invite the village chief into the house. I'll get you a glass of water. There is still hot water at home. Meixiu also put 2 spoons of sugar in it and said, Uncle Village Chief, drink some water. The sugar water was very strong, and the village chief drank it in one gulp. Xiaoxiu, could you please pour me another glass? Please don't put sugar in it this time. It's not that he doesn't want to drink it, it's just that it's too strong. Oh, right away. Mei Shui took the cup and went to give the village chief another glass of water. Nothing was released this time. After drinking the water, the village chief began to talk about business. Xiaoxiu, I asked the neighboring villages, and they said if they don't have any vegetable seeds, they'll have to wait until next year, but if they have rice seeds, not many can buy them. After saying that, the village chief felt a little embarrassed, but don't worry, I will buy your uncle's rice seeds this year anyway. It's not like buying someone else's rice seeds. How many are there? Mei Shui immediately became interested when she heard that someone wanted it. Not many, only about 10 families. The village chief stretched out his 2 hands and gestured. 10 families, if each family has 5 acres of land, they also have 50 acres, Mei Shui smiled. It's okay, 10 families, 10 families, how many do you need? I'll save it in the afternoon. The rice seeds are about to go to the fields, but we can't afford to delay. Mei Shui is still very concerned about rice. It doesn't take much to grow rice, and there are plenty of seeds at home. Each family costs about 10 kilograms. Do you think, among the 10 families, there is also his family, and his own family has 7 acres of land. Alas, what is this? Being a village chief is not easy either. Sure, 100 caddies, right, we have enough at home. Mei Shui smiled happily. Of course, she can't be the only one who is happy. Village chief, please tell those families who are willing to grow rice that if they pay for grain this year, they will pay for the rice, and ask them to sell all their rice to me. She is very interested in hoarding food. Xiaoxiu, are you telling the truth? The village chief was excited. There are 10 families, and you want them all. They all stood up in excitement. Yes, both are required. If you want to pay for food, let them use money instead. Mei Shui nodded with certainty. Sure, I will definitely tell them about this. The village chief smiled heartily. Xiaoxiu, if there are still people who want to grow rice, will you still sell the seeds? The village chief asked, thinking about his relatives. Sell it, you can get as much as you want, but the price of harvesting grain will not be much higher than the national price. Mei Shui took the vaccine first. It's okay, as long as it's higher than the national price, they will definitely be happy to sell it to you. The village head also knows that rice sold to the grain depot now costs 37 cents. Mei Shui was very satisfied with the village chief's behavior. Well, let's deal with the matter of harvesting the grain. I have to worry about the village chief's uncle. I will collect it at 7 cents per caddy, and you will collect 6 cents per caddy, and 1 cent of it will be given to the village chief's uncle. Your hard-earned money. Mixu has settled an account. If she wants to collect it herself, she will have to hire someone. But the village chief is different. He can guide her in many matters. The village chief is not stupid. When he heard Mei Shui's words, he immediately understood what she meant. Just like the matter of growing vegetables in the village, she also left it to herself. Otherwise, she would definitely have been listed by the superiors when she went to the meeting this time. But she didn't want to. I have to say that he really has to thank her for this. Even if he doesn't want to go any further, he will be comfortable in this position of village chief for decades to come. You know, he is only 47 now. That's a good feeling. I have to thank you very much. Don't underestimate this time. After all, he can earn over 100 yuan a year. What if more people plant in the future? Then he would earn more. So, he had to sell some more rice seeds. Then I won't disturb you for lunch. I have to go and ask again to see if anyone in the village wants to plant it. Being a village chief is not easy. Uncle, please walk slowly. Mei Shui had never thought about it before in the village, but no one believed her, so she didn't mention it again, but Aunt Mei Lian and the others all grew her family's rice seeds. However, after eating, they all refused to sell it. Even if they were afraid of paying for the food, they followed Mei Shui's example and paid money. The village chief came to the He family courtyard again 2 or 3 days later, but this time he did not come alone. But he brought a large group of people, all of whom came to buy rice seeds. Looking at the 20 or so people behind him, Grandma he thought something had happened. Not only Grandma he thought something was wrong, but He Jianxi, He Jiankei, He Jianbei, He Jiannan and the others all thought they were out, so they all rushed up one by one. The moment the village chief entered the door, 4 people blocked him behind him. What are you doing? We all stand here and are not allowed to come in. He Jianxi was the eldest. He stood at the front and yelled loudly. The village chief was a little confused. What are you doing, Jianxi? The village chief pulled away and congratulated Jianxi. They are all here to buy rice seeds, not looking for trouble. The village chief may have seen that the faces of the people in his courtyard were not right, so he hurriedly shouted. Mei Shui walked out of the kitchen with a kitchen knife in her hand. She was about to make breakfast. Grandma, what's wrong? I trotted to Grandma's side. Grandma he may have been frightened, and her head was sweating. It's okay, The village chief said they were here to buy rice seeds. Seeing so many people scared me half to death. Grandma he leaned her body against Mei Shui. It can be seen that she was really frightened. It may also be because of the shadow of the year. Why are you making such a fuss? Get out of here, and the village chief will come in alone. Mei Shui noticed something was wrong with her grandma and immediately shouted, Uncle Zheng 11, stop them. If anyone dares to come in, our seeds will not be sold to him. Mei Shui was a little angry. He was even more dissatisfied with the village chief. The village chief had a headache. Xiaoxiu, this is a misunderstanding. He really didn't expect to scare the third aunt. Seeing the fierce look in Mei Shui's eyes, the village chief could only sigh and shouted to the people outside, just sit next to Zheng Zhenxi's family. I'll call you later when I get the seeds. These people are here to buy seeds. They are all very obedient for the sake of money. Some people who followed the rules also said sorry to Aunt He outside, but they didn't expect to scare her. There are also some older ones, all of whom have thoughtful eyes. After everyone left, Mei Shui helped her grandma to the side and sat down. Grandma, it's okay, it's okay. Grandma He's eyes were red. It was the same way back then. A large group of people poured into her home and finally took her husband away. Please recommend votes, monthly votes, rewards, and subscribe. End of this chapter. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 296. Chapter 296, Layout. The village chief is not much younger than Grandma He, and he also knows what happened back then. Third aunt, I'm sorry for you, but he is younger, so he deserves to be called third aunt. Okay, you guys can talk, I'll go back to the house and take a rest. Grandma He waved her hand, not wanting to see so many people in front of her. Mixu helped her grandma back to the house and let her lie on the bed for a while. Grandma, it's okay. It's all over. No one dares to bully us now. Anyone who dares to come, I will kill him. She was really angry. She didn't expect to scare Grandma, let alone so many people. Grandma He smiled and shook her head. Grandma knows. Grandma knows that Xiaoxiu is the most capable. Okay, Grandma, I'll go to the meeting. It'll be fine in a while. You go out and get rid of people first. Don't let so many people come to the house in the future. Hearing Grandma's feeble voice, Mei Shui felt very guilty. I'm sorry Grandma, if it weren't for you silly boy, it's none of your business, go and do your business. Mei Shui looked back at her grandma in 3 steps. Seeing her closing her eyes, she didn't dare to make too loud a sound. However, there were some things that she really couldn't do at home in the future. Seeing Mei Shui coming out, the village chief breathed a sigh of relief and asked, how is third auntie? Mixu shook her head, it's okay, village chief. I want to build a small house by the creek. Do you think you can sell me a piece of land? It's not good to have too many people coming and going at home. What's the matter? Xiaoxiu doesn't need to buy it. There is an open space in my uncle's house. If you want it, take it. It happens to be right next to the horse house, He Jiannan said quickly when he heard that Xiaoxiu wanted to buy land again. The village chief also nodded, yes, they built the flat land over there themselves, and there is none in the village. If you want to buy it, you really have to buy it from people like them. Mei Shui said oh, and finally understood, how much do you want this time? Let's send these people away first. Xiaoxiu, when they heard that you charged 60 cents per caddy, they all wanted to buy some back. These people are all representatives of the village. You are a who doesn't make money if you have money. When these people hear that they have money to make, who won't buy it? That's it, my granary is over there. I'll ask Uncle Genkai and the others to take you there. The seeds will cost you 2 yuan a pound. Mei Shui had already reserved the seeds. No one knows better than her how much food her family eats every year, and all the excess goes into her space. After saying that, Mei Shui looked at He Genkai and He Jiannan. I still have to trouble you, Uncle Genke. 1 pound is 2 yuan, so take them to the scale. Mei Shui was worried about her grandma. Okay, it'll be fine as long as we keep an eye on you. You go and accompany the third aunt. What happened back then had a huge impact on her, He Genke said softly next to Mei Shui. Yeah, I know. In this way, under the arrangement of He Genke and others, the people brought by the village chief bought seeds and left halfway up the mountain. It's finally quiet here. By the time the old man and the others were convinced and driven out, Grandma He had already recovered. Sister, are you okay? Mr. Zhao and the others asked worriedly. The main reason is that the older girl looks very bad. Looking at their concerned eyes, Grandma He gave them a rare smile and said, it's okay. I'm just a human. I'm done with it. No, we are all quite old, let bygones be bygones. On the way here, everyone learned some things from Aunt Yang. In those 10 years, many people were harmed. Of course, we also caught a lot of bad guys. I can't tell whether they are good or bad. People, you have to look forward. Look at you now. You have grandchildren, daughters-in-law, and great-grandchildren in front of you. What else can you be dissatisfied about? Mr. Wu said with an envious look. Mr. Hua also comforted him, but there was only one person staring down. Sister, if you feel aggrieved, tell me and see if I don't deal with all those people. Uncle Shi has the best relationship with Grandma He. Even though they usually fight to the death, if something really happens, these two people must be on the same side. Okay, Uncle Shi, you are just causing trouble. Grandma has just recovered a little, so you can stimulate her. Mei Shui came over and said angrily. If Grandma really wanted to kill someone, would she still need him? Xiao Peng and Xiao Cheng got up and walked to their wife. Madam, don't be afraid. Xiao Peng and Xiao Cheng will sleep with you tonight. Seeing her great-grandson caring so much about her, Grandma He's grievance at being brought out by old man Shi immediately dissipated. Okay, but you said it yourself, don't say you miss your mother again. Grandma He hugged them and said with a smile. No, no. Xiao Peng quickly shook his head. Xiao Cheng is not behind either, neither can I. I will sleep with my wife from now on. Haha, okay, that's a good feeling. Grandma He also regained her former expression under the laughter of her great-grandson. Then the bickering humor reappeared. Mei Shui looked around lazily. These two people. Some people think that Mei Shui is a liar. The country only charges 37 cents. Can she really charge 60 cents per pound? It's more expensive than the country. They don't believe it. But they didn't believe it or not, but they still watched. They plan to wait until August to see if the Mei Shui harvest is really 60 cents. If they really harvest 60 cents, they will plant it next year. There isn't much money a year anyway, so it's the same thing as adding more vegetables this year. But the people in the neighboring villages are different. They believe more. Each household planted a lot, dividing the land into two sides, with seeds left at home on one side and seeds bought back on the other. After all, seeds costing 2 yuan a pound are not cheap. The village chief also told everyone that they cannot be together at that time. If anyone is together, they will not be accepted. At this time, people are very sincere and may not accept the offer upon hearing it, but everyone promises that they will accept it separately. There is also a profit of 10 cents per caddy for the village chief, so he keeps an eye on it even more closely than Mei Shui. In April, Hians came back to bring food. Daughter-in-law, what's wrong with the people in the village? They all ask me if I really harvest 6 cents per caddy of rice, Hians asked worriedly as soon as he entered the house. That's what happened. Didn't Boss Jian want to buy the rice from home? I didn't plan to sell it, so I asked if anyone in the village wanted to grow it. No, there were many people who were willing to grow it. I said 6 cents receive a pound. Mei Shui told him about the village chief who came to her to buy seeds. That's right, that's true. You don't know that rice is very expensive in Shenzhen city. Now it only costs 7 or 8 cents a pound. He Anyong settled there, and Hian certainly knew some things. Well, then we can take some of our rice and sell it there, but we have to buy 2 yuan a pound. Mei Shui knew her own things very well. The seeds are cultivated using space water, and are much better than normal rice in terms of nutrition and taste. Please recommend votes, monthly votes, rewards, and subscribe. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 297. Chapter 297, The Arrogant Village Chief. Sure, I'm not worried that no one will buy this thing anyway. After traveling a lot and meeting rich people, Hian's vision is no longer what it used to be. No, the vegetables my grandma and I grew in the past were sold at high prices that others would not dare to compare with. Mei Shui smiled when she thought of what happened in the past 2 years. That's not true, my wife can do it. Seeing no one, Hian's treated his wife lightly again. Meixia gave him a roll of her eyes and said, "Why are you so crazy in broad daylight? Can I go crazy tonight? Wife, I miss you so much." "I haven't been back for a month," Hian said coquettishly to Mei Shui like a child. "You are beautiful." Mei Shui was speechless for this man. "I think about that every time I come back. Can't I just stop for a while?" Of course, she missed him too. Normal physiological needs. "You don't miss me," Hian's looked aggrieved. Mei Shui chuckled, "What do you think? Think about it." The two separated after having a romantic relationship. "By the way, Boss Jian asked me to get some fish for him when he came this time." Jian Xiang felt aggrieved. "Maybe it's because the Gu family's fish are selling too well." Mei Shui shook her head, "There aren't many fish. If you want one, you have to wait 2 months. The fish pond is too small and can't hold many fish. The last time Gu Jile came, he almost lost all of them." "It's okay, I'll just bring him a few," Hian said nonchalantly. "Meixia thinks it's better not to take this fish with you, otherwise." "I think it's better not to take it with you. Just tell him to ask him to come earlier next time if you want fish anyway. This is a matter between him and Guji, so why put yourself in the middle?" Hian's understood immediately, "That's right, I won't bring it to him." After a month, many people in the village were able to pick vegetables. This time we drove 2 trucks back, not only to take away vegetables, but also some chickens, ducks, and pigs. They can still sell it in Shenzhen city for a while, but Hian still feels that there is not enough to sell in the village. During dinner, Hian's discussed this matter with his grandma and Zioxiu. "Zioxiu, now Boss Jiangu, the police, and ourselves, what should we do if the vegetables, chickens, and ducks in the village are not enough to sell?" he said while eating and drinking a small drink. Grandma, he didn't expect that these things from the village would be so popular in big cities. "How about our family also feeds some chickens and ducks, Grandma?" he suggested. Mei Shui shook her head, "Even so, it will still not be enough, but that's okay. A lot of people will be growing vegetables next year, so we won't be afraid of a lack of vegetable supply. However, it is indeed a bit difficult to deal with poultry. Many people don't really have too many at home." Mei Shui felt that she had to go to the village chief about this matter. "Ans, why don't you go and talk to the village chief tomorrow? Anyway, it's a job that can make money. No one in our village will support you. Maybe someone in the neighboring village wants to support you. It is indeed difficult to support 3 good shops and restaurants in one village." "Sure, then I'll go find the village chief early tomorrow morning," Hians agreed. Meixia thought again about the last time her grandma was frightened, and wanted to tell him again at night. Xiaopeng and Xiaochen were very happy to see their father coming back. They also surrounded him when his father was drinking, clamoring for a drink. These are medicinal wines brewed by Mei Shui herself, so she is not afraid of harming their health if they drink them. So Hians fed each of them a mouthful, but it didn't happen. You idiot, why are you feeding them wine? You're going to get them drunk. Grandma. He was watching TV and eating. She didn't pay attention to her great-grandson for a moment, and unexpectedly she got drunk by their father. Hians knew he was in the wrong. Grandma, I didn't give it to me, they stole the wine from me. He was afraid of the stick in Grandma's hand. Meixue looked on with a gloating smile. Grandma. He looked unbelieving. You think your grandma is stupid? If they don't steal wine on weekdays, why don't they just wait for you to come back and steal it? After saying that, a stick was slapped on Hian's body. The beating made him howl and scream. In the end, he hid behind Mei Shui and the matter was finally revealed. At night, Hians hugged Mei Shui tightly to him. I asked you to laugh at me. You didn't know how to help me hold Grandma when you saw me being beaten. After saying that, 2 slaps fell on Mei Shui's butt. Meixue was embarrassed and said, you want to die, so dare to hit me. So the two started fighting on the bed. Anyway, that night, either the east wind prevailed over the west wind, or the west wind overcame the east wind. It was not until the two of them were exhausted that they became quiet. When Hians came to see the village chief was about to go out. Hey, Hans is back. As soon as the village chief opened the door, he saw Hians, his eyes sparkling. Uncle village chief, where are you going? Hians asked, holding 2 packs of cigarettes in his hand. The seedlings haven't come out yet. I'll go to the fields to check the water. People in rural areas depend on the harvests in the fields all year round. I'll go with you to have a look anyway. He had something to say to the village chief, whether at home or away. The village chief probably saw that he had something to ask of him. Okay, let's go. When he arrived at the village head's field, Hians didn't hide anything and started talking to the village head about poultry. So many, the village chief couldn't believe it. Well, what Uncle Jenan and the others raised is not enough to sell. Hians looked embarrassed. It's hard to have so much money right now and not be able to earn it back. You stinky boy, why don't you give me a hard time? The village chief shouted to Hians with his eyes wide open in annoyance. Hians shook his head. How dare you? No, I came to tell my uncle about this. See if anyone in the village wants to raise one. The kind that raises a lot of them, not a dozen or 100. Too little is not enough money to sell it abroad. It's a simple matter. Let's do this. I'll tell the village chiefs of the neighboring villages in the past few days that we can't make enough money in one village. Hearing this, Hians felt that the village chief uncle had some vision. No, but if you really want to raise them, I think it's better to use the rice we grow now. Such poultry will be more delicious, and of course the price will be higher. Hians said what he was thinking. He has always known that his own chickens taste better than other people's chickens. Of course, An Liang's family and Ankan's family don't count, because they later used their own food to feed them, and the taste was similar to his family's. Compared to others, in Qianziang's words, it's not on the same level. Is the food so good? The village chief hesitated. You have to know, your wife said, the rice harvest is only 60 cents per caddy. Calculate the cost. At what price should the chicken be sold? Actually, whether it is the An Liang family or the Ankan family, the prices of their chickens and ducks are different from those outside. Others may only have 1 yuan per caddy more, but these two families' prices are 5 yuan per caddy. It's just that I didn't tell anyone else. Hians didn't say much. End of this chapter. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 298. Chapter 298, Planning to Buy Land. Don't worry, I won't lose anything to them. If anyone wants to raise it, I'll pay 3 yuan per caddy. Hians has made a big investment. But compared to Qianziang's, it's still 2 yuan a pound cheaper. So high, more expensive than meat. I was surprised. No, Meat is only $1.70 per pound now, but Hians knew that the price of meat would soon rise again. Thinking of this, he gave the village chief another bomb. Well, if anyone wants to raise pigs and raise them with rice, how about I give them 3 yuan for their hairy pigs, haha. It's great to make money. Okay, this matter is settled, I will go find someone now. After saying that, the village chief ran away like the wind. Hians was leaving today, so he didn't delay and went home immediately. He told Mei Shui the price he had given, and Mei Shui smiled. You are planning to earn the difference from Xiang's price. But, it's well done. Mei Shui smiled happily. I was thinking of telling you last time that I wanted to buy the flat land from Uncle Jinnan's house to build a house, and then use it to receive goods. Mei Shui expressed her thoughts. Are you talking about the land by the creek? Hians thought for a while, but it's not very good there. As long as the water rises, it will be flooded there, which is inconvenient. He shook his head. Then what do you think we should do? Mei Shui looked at him. We can't keep letting people come home. Didn't I tell you yesterday? Grandma was scared last time. Speaking of this, Mei Shui's face turned very bad. No, wife, what are you thinking about? That's my grandma too. Why would I let people come to my house? Hian saw a little fear in his wife's eyes. This is what I thought. There are 2 empty houses next to the school in the village. They became vacant after the fool died. I was thinking about buying the place and we could repair it ourselves and build it into a brick house. In order to save his life, Hians quickly expressed his plan. Humph, I've never been there, so I don't know. Mei Shui snorted. Let's go, I'll take you to see it now. It's really not possible on this side of the creek anyway, there is still time, so we can decide on this matter today. Mei Shui nodded. So the 2 of them took their children and went to the brigade. When he reached the 4th group, Xiaoxiu was stopped by a woman. Who is this person? Mei Shui didn't recognize him. Sister, is something wrong? She thought it was someone from the village who came to hit her to talk about something. The person who was called the eldest sister looked at Hians with a look of grievance. Ans, does your wife not like me? After saying this, his eyes turned red. Seeing this man, Hian's eyes were full of murderous intent. Get away. After saying that, he pushed the man away with all his strength. He took his wife's hand and walked forward. Be careful when you see this person in the future, he is crazy. The person who came was none other than Ma Jing, who had stood in front of Hians. Hians was very angry as he didn't expect that she would dare to appear in front of his wife. Mixu is not stupid. Oh, beauty. She may not have noticed it, but there was a hint of sourness in her tone. Hians was anxious, but he glanced at the 2 children and said, come on, I don't know her. Some things are not suitable to be said in front of the children. But he had no intention of hiding this from her. I'll talk to you when I get home. Mei Shui broke away from his hand and said, humph. When he arrived at the brigade, Hians failed to coax his wife all the way, but fortunately he was at the place. Xiao Peng and Xiao Chen will play here for a while. You will also go to school here in the future. Hians put the children on the flat ground of the school. Dad, why do we go to school here? Aren't we going to school with our brother? In contrast, they prefer their brother's school. There are a lot of food sellers there. Okay, if you are willing, Dad will take you to school with your brother. Hians did not expect that they would rather go to school with Xiao. Then we have to go to school with my brother, the 2 replied without even thinking about it. Mixu also knows that it is one thing that she likes the village, but the children cannot stay in the village all their lives. Don't worry, I will take them out to school when they can go to school. Humph, trouble. Hey, wife, you are the best, Hian said flatteringly. Hand in hand, the 2 of them led them closer to the place where the villagers originally lived. It is really in shabby condition. The roof is broken. After no one lived in it, it may be due to the previous strong wind and heavy rain that the roof over the fire pit was blown away. You can see the whole thing clearly without going in. It's right here, a little far from the creek, but not far from the main road. There is a small road up there, so I'm not afraid that cars won't be able to get through. Hans pointed to the broken house and said. Meixue looked around. It was indeed pretty good. There was a school next to it, which was even better. Sure, I'll buy it here, but will the village be willing to sell it? She knew how important the village guards were to the village. It's not that Hans doesn't know, but since everyone is dead, what is the land used for? Let me ask. He also thought about the village chief being scared away by him in the morning. Forget it, you better ask. I think the village chief will come to our house tomorrow. Well, okay, I'll have 2 brick houses built here, and they will be bigger. Then there won't be enough space for loading goods, Meixue said, thinking about the rice. Hans nodded. Well, you can make up your mind. At noon, Hans did not wait for the village chief to come, and it was time for him to leave. Although he was very reluctant to leave, he also knew that leaving was only for a better future. After helping the old man and the others receive a few letters, Hans left the village. Meixue took the children to take a nap after she had nothing to do. Every time he came back, she had to sleep on the bed again, which was annoying. Meixue told her grandma again that night that she wanted to buy the village guard's house, and grandma didn't have any objections. As long as the village chief is willing to sell it. Meixue was relieved about this. Old men are still so bored and find things to do for themselves every day. However, as the children grew up, Mr. Wu and others took the children with them and began to teach them how to read. Meixue has no objection, and grandma he has no objection even more. It would be a good thing to be more literate. No matter how hard she tries, there is no way she can stop it. The next day, the village chief came as expected. He also brought good news to Meixue. Meixue became happy after hearing that so many people were willing to raise poultry. Uncle Village Chief, my family wants to buy the house next to the school. I wonder if you can decide to sell it to my family. After Meixue and the village chief finished chatting about poultry, Meixue took the initiative to talk about the house. The village chief was stunned. Aren't you planning to buy it by the creek? Why did you think of going there to buy it? It's so far away and it's inconvenient to put anything in it. What if it's stolen? And said it's easy to flood here, so it's inconvenient to put things there, Meixue said honestly. Please recommend votes, monthly votes, rewards, and subscribe. End of this chapter. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 299. Chapter 299, Xiao goes home. That's right, the village chief thought for a while and nodded. He's right, but it won't matter if you buy the house in the brigade, but you will have to keep it when the time comes to install the things, and Ans is not at home. Meixue understood the village chief's worries. It's okay. I'll ask Uncle Jinan and the others to help me keep an eye on him when the time comes. Generally, he won't be taken away in more than 2 days. Whatever matters, she will let Xiaohong go there when the time comes. We are not afraid that the thief will not come, but we are afraid that if he does come, we will not be able to get back alive. In this case, I have to go back and discuss it with other people in the village. Can I give you an answer in a few days? The village chief now relies on Xiaoxiu, but he can't make the decision on some things. No problem, then I'll bother the village chief. Meixue handed over a pack of cigarettes left by Hans. It is not wrong to be polite to many people, this is correct. Haha, this is a good thing, I won't be polite to you. The village chief accepted it sincerely. After taking the cigarette, the smile on the village chief's face became deeper and there were 2 or 3 more wrinkles. Just have your own ideas. If you decide, I'll write a note later to give you a clear path. Just now, she said she would go back to discuss it, but after taking the cigarette, she immediately changed her subject, which made Meixue know more about the village chief. I was thinking about lighting up more cigarettes at home, just in case. Then I'll have to trouble the village chief. Uncle Mei Shui was very happy to be able to get it done in advance. Then I'll take the money and go to my uncle's house later. Haha, no rush, no rush. After the cigarette was lit, the village chief took a deep breath and said, tomorrow will be fine. It took Mei Shui 2 days to get the rotten house, not only the house, but also the land. She would not make the same mistake as An Wen and the others. After getting the note from the village, Mei Shui was still worried and planned to go to the town to transfer the ownership during the big market. Mr. Zhang finally came up with a plan. After reading it, Mei Shui asked him to take action. The angry old man Zhang asked for an extra jar of wine before he could calm down. There was no He Anyong this time, and Mei Shui was also a little busy with many things. She thought to herself that if she had known this, she would not have let Anyong go to Shenzhen City. It would be great to help her at home and save her trouble. Xiao Yi is indeed pretty good, but he has seen less of the world. Compared to his brother, the difference is not the slightest bit. In this case, Mei Shui can only fight in person. Mei Shui lost weight after being busy like this for 2 months, which made Hians feel heartbroken every time he came back. But he knew better that he could not stop her progress. He can only be busier and more motivated than her. No, the people we asked for last time have arrived, and the transportation station in Mingcheng has begun to operate. When the business got rich, the boss and Guji's support attracted many people to follow him. As a result, Hian spent more and more time going back, and Mei Shui didn't take it to heart. No, I was so busy that Xiao went on summer vacation, and Xiao was sent back by Hians. Grandma, has Xiaoxiu been too busy recently? Hians didn't even see his wife when he returned home. Grandma, he was originally very happy to see her great-great-grandson, but when she heard Hian's words, her happiness was shattered. Who's to blame? If you weren't promising, how could my Xiaoxiu be so busy? She stays in the mountains every day, can't eat well, and can't sleep well. You still have the nerve to tell her not to be so busy. If you have the ability, try your best. Ah! Grandma, he opened her mouth and gave Hians a slap in the face. Hians knew that he was unreasonable. He felt distressed but also blamed himself for not being able to give his wife the life she wanted. Grandma, don't worry, I will definitely make a difference in the future and give Xiaoxiu a better life. If he could work harder and make more money, Xiaoxiu wouldn't have to be so busy. Huh, what's the use of talking? Let's talk with our skills. After Xiao saw his wife scolding his father, he immediately left the house with Xiaopeng and the others. When he left the house, he shouted into the yard, "Madam, Dad, we are going into the mountains to find our mother." "Go, wait a little slower, Grandma." He glanced outside and saw her great-grandchildren running away, and she felt even more angry at Hians. If it weren't for her grandson, she would have wanted to replace Xiaoxiu with a capable man. Hians didn't know what his grandma was thinking, otherwise, he would be so angry. "Grandma, our family is not short of money now. When you are at home, you should also persuade Xiaoxiu not to be so busy anyway." He did not dare to say this. He doesn't have the confidence. Grandma, he looked at the person sitting next to her. "If you can, just say it yourself. Don't think she can't see it." If it wasn't her biological child, she would really want to fight her off. "I don't have the shame to persuade her." Hians was speechless. "How long will you stay at home this time? I haven't been back for a month, and I don't know what I am busy with outside every day." 2 days, these 2 days I will go out to sell goods. It's June, whether it's Shenzhen or Mingcheng, business is getting better and better. The business of our own transportation team is also getting busier and busier, and the time to come back is getting less and less. "Grandma, why don't you, Xiaoxiu and I go to live in Mingcheng now?" He is in charge of Mingcheng's business. The business in the county town was handed over to Xiang Yang, and Xiao Lai went to Mingcheng together. It just so happened that Xian Jiang's wife couldn't leave the county seat for a while. No, it's so nice here. I don't have to worry about food and drink now. The village is getting better and better developed by Xiaoxiu, and it would be foolish to leave. Grandma who has no worries about food and drink in Mingchang, he still has the ability to support the family. Is there any fun in the village? Can you be like the village, where you can find someone to scold someone when things don't go your way? Grandma he rolled her eyes, unwilling to leave. Hians has no way to deal with grandma. But Xiaopeng and the others will go to school in a few years, and we can't let the children go to school in the village with better conditions. He certainly hopes to give his children a better future. Grandma he shook her head, don't ask me about this, you can tell Xiaoxiu yourself. Of course she knew that the child would leave when he got older. At least the children are still young and don't have to leave. After all, Hians felt aggrieved that he had to face his wife in the end. Okay, Grandma, I'll go to the back mountain to have a look. He couldn't stay in this house any longer. If he stayed any longer, he would feel like he was picked up. Go, it's just time to help Xiaoxiu do some work. Grandma he waved her hand carelessly. She has something to do herself. She is going to visit Grandma Meng's house today, and she doesn't know what to do with her. On the way to the back mountain, Xiao walked and played with his younger brother. Xiaopeng Xiaocheng, do you miss your brother when he's not at home? I thought, brother, you don't know, the second brother fell into a puddle on the mountain. Xiaocheng told his eldest brother the secret of the second brother. Xiaopeng is not far behind, big brother, Xiaocheng was slapped by Mrs. Wu the day before yesterday. He is so stupid that he can't count to 100. Big brother, second brother was chased and beaten by Mrs. Hua a few days ago, and he pulled out Mrs. Hua's flowers. Xiao's face twitched with laughter as he listened to his younger brother's complaint. Please recommend votes, monthly votes, rewards, and subscribe. The end of 10,000 chapters, my hand is broken. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 300. Chapter 300, Planning to Build Another House. Haha, you guys are having so much fun. My brother will play with you at home this time. When the time comes, you can ask your brother if you don't know what Mrs. Wu teaches you. Well, thank you, brother. The two of them were very happy about this. Because Mrs. Wu is really bad and always slaps her palms. Hian's footsteps were faster than those of the children, and it didn't take long for him to catch up with them. What are you doing? You are smiling so happily. He ran a few steps quickly to the three children, stretched out his hand and held Xiaopeng and Xiaocheng in his hands. Dad, we are talking about plucking Mrs. Hua's flowers. Xiaopeng is an honest child. Xiao was speechless. This is a cheating brother. No, Dad, don't listen to what my brother is saying. We don't have any. Xiao winked at Xiaocheng. Who doesn't know that Mrs. Hua's favorite thing is the wildflowers in that area? At least in their eyes, those are wildflowers. How could Hian scold them? But, you can't do this. If someone breaks something you like, will you be angry? Children must be taught better. Yes, I will beat him. Xiaocheng was the first to refuse. That's right. Was it right for Mrs. Hua to hit you? Because you destroyed his most beloved flower, Hians explained. Well, Dad, we know we were wrong. The two nodded in agreement. Xiao smiled as he watched his father talking to his younger brother. Now he is increasingly unable to leave this home. He has long since become a part of this family and is no longer an outsider. Even if his surname is Cheng. Dad, can I change my name? Cheng Yu suddenly asked Hians while walking. Hians was startled. Xiaocheng, why? He knew that Xiao was hiding something from him, but now that he wanted to change his surname, Hians couldn't adapt. I want to have the same surname as my brother and the others. He thought about this for a long time. He had long forgotten about that family. If it were not for the surname Cheng, he would be happier now. Have you thought about it? Hans didn't want him to regret it. Well, Dad, I've thought about it. My surname is He, and I will be the real eldest brother of Xiaopeng and Xiaocheng from now on, Cheng Yu said with certainty. Okay, I will talk to your mother and wife about this later. If possible, I will take you to register your family name tomorrow, Hans affirmed. Well, thank you, Dad, Xiao said gratefully. Looking at Xiao's more relaxed posture than before, Hans felt that he had failed too much and didn't notice Xiao's mood at all. Xiao, we will be a real family from now on. Hans was very happy that Xiao had such thoughts, which proved that he recognized their family. Dad, what are you talking about? We are a family, Xiaopeng said with a confused look on his face when he heard his father's words. Besides, my brother has always been their family member. That's right, Dad, aren't eldest brother and us a family? Xiaocheng asked confused. Hans smiled and said, haha, yes, the eldest brother has always been your eldest brother, the eldest son of me and my mother. There are 3 sons in the family, and there is a lot of pressure. Xiao also smiled happily. What, you are still going to deny me? Not at all, huh, my eldest brother is dead. That's right, the eldest brother is a bad brother. The 3 children were noisy in my ears and it was very fun. We arrived at the back mountain in a short while. The changes here have been huge in just a short time. He put the children down and said, you go and play by yourselves. Dad goes to find mother. Xiao stepped forward and took the hands of Xiaopeng and Xiaocheng. Dad, go ahead. Let's go take a bath in the backyard. He hadn't played in a long time. Okay, but I can't go to Dachi. Dad, I know. The 3 of them jumped away. What is Mei Shui doing at this time? She is walking in the mountains. Taking Xiaobai and Xiaohong with you, don't be too carefree. Has the back mountain been cleared yet? Mei Shui asked Xiaobai. She planned to clear the front mountain and then invite people to dig holes and plant fruit trees. This time we can't be like the hill behind the old house, where all the fruit trees are planted together. It's all done, Master. Where are you going to plant so many peach trees? Xiaobai was a little confused as to why he wanted to plant peach trees. Mr. Yuhua, isn't it? I told him last time, and he said that he would take care of this matter. He also said that the dwarf peach tree was successfully grafted in their courtyard. Of course, Mei Shui had already planned it. Xiaobai looked back at his master. Okay, but can Mr. Hua get so many? There are also 3 mountains here. I don't know, but I guess it's as much as I can get. At worst, I'll plant peach trees on the mountain here, and plant other ones on the 2 mountains over there. The main thing is to read the letter from Mr. Hua. How long has it been, and I don't know if I have received a reply. They don't need her to send letters, they have people of their own. Let me tell you, why not plant grapevines on that mountain over there? Don't they all like drinking wine? Xiaobai suggested. Besides, there are no big trees on that mountain, so the small trees are just right for grape trellises. The reason why these 3 mountain villages are willing to sell is because there are no big trees on the mountain. Mei Shui took a look from a distance and said, that's true, but let's talk about it. It's not a small effort to sort it out. It's early. Okay, Master, the wild animals on the mountain in front are gone, but there are still some in the mountain behind, so we can't drive them all away, Xiaobai said with a dissatisfied look on his face. Without these little animals, it would be a lot less fun. It's okay, I haven't planned to develop the back mountain yet. The main reason is that people will live here, and it won't be good to have animals. Of course she has to think carefully about how to make money. Master, Hans is here. Xiaobai jumped up immediately as if he sensed something. Xiaohong is getting lazier and lazier now, and is wrapped entirely in Mei Shui's lap. If she can't move, she will definitely not move a step. Oh, Let's go down then. His words were calm, but it would be more genuine if he put away the smile on his face. I won't go, master, you go. It doesn't want it? That's it. You and Xiaohong can play some more on the mountain. After saying that, Mei Shui pulled Xiaohong off her feet. When Mei Shui was almost at the bottom of the mountain, she met He An's. Xiaoxiu, why did you come to the mountain alone? Do you know that there are the most snakes on the mountain now? He An's face was covered with sweat and he was very worried. Looking at his anxious eyes, Mei Shui smiled, it's okay, I'm not afraid. I'll eat them if they dare to come. Hearing what his wife said, He An's wiped the sweat from his face and said, there was nothing he could do against her. Let's go down the mountain. He An's walked up to Mei Shui and stretched out his hand. Mei Shui put her hand on his palm without thinking. Oh. While walking, He An's told Xiaoxiu that Xiao wanted to change his surname. After listening, Mei Shui became silent. Don't forget to vote. Tears of gratitude. End of this chapter. 80s, The Farmer's Wife is the Boss. Author, Village Girl in City. Chapter 301. Chapter 301, Xiao wants to change his surname. What? Don't you agree? Seeing that she didn't speak, He An stopped. Meixiu looked at him and said, don't say you didn't know that Xiao was hiding something from us. She didn't believe that he didn't find out about this. He An smiled and tightened her hand. Of course I know, so I didn't let him change his surname before, but now he has figured it out. We just have more sons, why not? Okay, I have no objection, but I still want to ask Grandma. Grandma is the head of the family. You have already agreed, will Grandma still disagree? Huh, don't think he doesn't know, he has the lowest status in the family. Looking at his aggrieved look, Mei Shui laughed heartlessly, haha, you deserve it. Seeing her smile brightly, He An's hadn't touched her for a month. Seeing that there was no one around, He An's took her into his arms and blocked her little mouth that was laughing out loud. In the afternoon, the two returned home with their children. Grandma happened to be cooking, and Mei Shui went to the kitchen as soon as she walked in. Looking at her fleeing back, He An's didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He just expressed his thoughts. How could she avoid him like a poisonous scorpion? The three children also ran away. Since the construction of Huishan started, the old men have moved to Huishan again, saying that they will keep an eye on their future homes. Grandma, he is eager to do so. Xiaoxiu, you are back. Seeing Xiaoxiu come in, Grandma he's happy face became even happier. Of course, Mei Shui noticed something was wrong with her grandma. Grandma, what's wrong with you? What's the matter with you? If anyone in the family knows Grandma best, it's definitely Mei Shui. Grandma, he smiled and said, I knew I couldn't hide it from you, but it's really a good thing today she went to his Grandma Meng's house. I didn't expect that Grandma Meng's grandson would also get married. Your grandma's grandson is getting married. Why don't we, the old ones, go over and meet her? I think that girl is a good one. It's rare for Grandma he to say that she's a good person. Meixiu was happy after hearing this. It's so good, I think that girl can't go wrong. She felt that she was not much different from the person who her grandma agreed with. No, that girl is very discerning and polite to others also. She has a big ass, and she can give birth to a son at a glance. Grandma, he said cheerfully. Mei Sui Fang, thinking of Grandma like this. The date has been decided. Hiangui is Grandma Meng's grandson, Wei's only grandson, but his brain was burned when he was a child, and his speech is not very clear now. This is also the reason why he is older than He An's and the others, but not yet married. It was said to be on the 7th day of the 7th lunar month. They were also destined to meet each other. The girl spoke very clearly, but she was a little thicker and her ears were a little weak. Everything else was fine. Grandma, he stopped teasing Xiaoxiu and began to talk to the girl seriously. After listening, Mei Shui understood, it's not bad. Brother Angui is not stupid. He just doesn't speak clearly. He can still understand if he speaks slower. It's okay for the girl to be a bit deaf, at least she can speak clearly. It's good to have someone in the family who can speak clearly. In the future, the old people will go away, and their lives will not be too bad. No, that's why I say that girl is good, Grandma. He also laughed when she heard Mei Shui's approval. But, your Grandma Meng also begged me, saying that she wanted you to find something for Xiaogui to do. You can't farm at home. The village is getting better and better, but the family still wants He Angui to see more. After thinking about it for a while, Mei Shui nodded and said, this is a small matter. If Brother Angui agrees, let him help me keep an eye on the fish pond. Just like Xiao Wei, give him a little money every time he sells fish. Mei Shui expressed her thoughts. This is a good job, but can he succeed in selling goods? Grandma, he was a little worried again. What about Xiao Wei? Xiao Wei is doing this, what if? As for Xiao Yi, I plan to let him stay with me. There are a lot of things to do this year, and Anyang is not at home. I can't do it alone, someone must be trained. Just have a plan and don't make Xiao Yi uncomfortable. After getting along for a long time, Grandma He also had new views on He Anyang, He Anwei, and Grandma He. I won't wrong him. He hasn't bothered to look at the fish pond recently. You know, the fish pond is a big income. Also, she plans to expand the fish pond, which will require a long-term caretaker. Well, tell Xiao Yi when you have time, and I'll go talk to Grandma Meng over Angui. Grandma He agreed after thinking about it for a moment. Of course Mei Shui had no objection. Then I'll trouble Grandma. Everyone who was afraid of eating a late meal had a bloated stomach. The children went to watch TV after dinner. After the family got a color TV, many little kids came over to watch movies. Because Mei Shui had something to tell her grandma, she took her to the courtyard. Of course, there is also He-An's. He-An saw Grandma Meixela coming out and knew what she was going to say. Mei Shui glanced at He-An's, obviously asking him to speak. Looking at the young couple rolling their eyes around, they didn't interrupt them. He-An's finally spoke, Grandma, Xiao said that he wants to change his household registration. What? She had thought about this before. After all, it is a child raised by oneself, so of course it is best to have the family name. But they could also see that Xiao was hiding something from them, so they didn't let him change his surname in the end. Xiaoxiu, go and call Xiao out. It's time to ask some things clearly. They are not afraid of trouble, but they are afraid of things being unclear. Hearing what Grandma said, Mei Shui understood. Good. He-An's looked at his grandma's serious face and said with some fear, Grandma, do you want to ask about Xiao's life experience? I used to lie to myself, but now. Otherwise. You have to know what's going on. Grandma He glared at him angrily, it's just you have no sense. She asked when Guji sent someone over. After asking, she always felt that something was not right. Have you lost your memory? She doesn't believe it. But at that time, Xiao was too pitiful, so he felt sympathy. The issue of Xiao's life experience has not been mentioned until now. Unexpectedly, Xiao actually wanted to change her surname now, but changing her surname was a big deal, so she still wanted to ask clearly. Xiao quickly followed his mother out. Madam, you call me Xiao knew that his wife called him because of the change of surname. Grandma He pulled Xiao and asked him to sit next to her. Xiao, why do you want to change your surname? He had never mentioned it before. Madam, we are a family. When Xiao said this, his eyes turned red. Xiao, can you tell me your life experience? Madam believes that you had no choice but to lie to us before. Grandma He's voice was very soft. Xiao looked at his parents very nervously and found that they also looked at him with gentle eyes. End of this chapter.